Today, let's chat about retiring when you are in your 40s, or whatever age you are right now. Let's start, retiring right now. I did it when I was 47 years old, and I want to help you get started today. Welcome to Goose Pond Hideout, and I'm Rob. The geese are in the pond, and I'm out in the back 40 here, and it's later in the day, and the sun's up pretty high in the sky here. It was like 27 degrees this morning, and I didn't feel like standing out in the cold to chat with you at that time. So I waited till later in the day, and of course the geese and the guineas and the chickens and everybody's out making noise, so I had to sneak out back to get away from them all. And I want to chat with you today about retiring right now. I retired when I was 47, and let me explain, what I mean by that is, I had a regular career, working in the real world, in the hamster wheel, rat race of life. And to be honest, at that time, I was basically broke. Even though I was making a lot of money by the standards of the day, I was spending it faster than I was making it. And I was in debt up to my eyeballs. And, I started thinking about how much money I had to make just to pay the bills. And I, was thinking that this is crazy. But then I was thinking, what do I do? I can't quit because, I've got all this money that, debt, and I have no money saved up. What are my possibilities? And shortly, at that time frame, I said, I'm just doing it. And I went and made a mark on the calendar, and I believe it was August 1st of the next year. I said, on August 1st, we're out of here. And I just put the wheels into motion. And I started living really frugally because I had my August 1st date on the calendar that, we were gone on that day no matter what. And so we started living really frugally. We started saving every nickel that we could. We cut out every expense that we could. We paid off our debts. We started selling everything that we had in the house. And we sold the house to a family member, but we still sold the house. All of our vehicles, and we just got rid of everything. I had a Kubota tractor, I sold that, and just everything that we had, we just liquidated out, because all we were going to do, we bought a sailboat, which was down on the Gulf Coast, and we were up in Maine, and we were heading there. We knew we were going, and so we only took what we could fit into a small trailer that we were pulling behind our vehicle. And we made it work. And then for the first couple of years, I just worked on the boat. We bought a boat that needed work. That's my thing is buying broken down stuff that nobody else wants. Nobody in their right mind would want. But the boat was solid. The sailboat was real good and solid. It was a one-owner sailboat. They had bought it brand new and owned it for its entire life. And they were moving on, getting older. And so they were selling the boat. And so the boat was good and solid, but the refrigerator didn't work and the stove didn't work. And pretty much everything was non-functional. It had good sails. The lines, the ropes on the boat, were all good. I did take the head sail into a shop and have it restitched so that it was in good shape. But so I spent 2 years, fixing up the boat. And then at some point along the way, I just, being who I am, I started making money on the side, if you will, kind of like a side hustle that turned into a primary hustle kind of a thing. And that's kind of the point, is in today's world, the traditional thought of, getting your job when you get out of school, whether it's high school, trade school, associate college, whatever it is, when you transition from going to school to working, and you get a real world job, that you work at that job until you're, 65 or whatever, and then retire and play golf every day or whatever it is that, would be your passion, is, those days are long gone. We're living so much longer today. We're so much healthier later in our life. And I'm in my mid-60s and I don't take any prescription medicine. I mentioned that in the last video when I talked about Social Security. But people are living longer and healthier, and so the thought that you're just gonna do nothing for the rest of your life is kind of silly, really. And so when I use the word retiring in your 40s or your 30s or whatever you might be, is I'm not talking about retiring in the traditional sense. You still got to do something. And a line I always remember from one of my youthful mentors, one of the people that I looked up to when I was a teenager, is he said that if you're either making money or you're spending money. And his wife was a spender and he was the maker. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about in general oh, that was pretty funny. But yeah, he teased about his wife all the time, but she likes spending money, and so he made the money. But is that, you're either consuming or producing. And so I want you to be thinking about, when I talk about retiring, is that, you still got to do something with your 24 hours in the day. And so there's so many opportunities today for side hustles and doing things. And, so that you're not really, really retired in the traditional word of retiring. You're retired in, the sense that you don't have a real world job. And boy, it's still kind of chilly out here. I'm going to put my gloves on. And a helpful hint, when you live on the homestead and you're doing your projects around the homestead during the day, is don't wear little knitted gloves when you're putting shavings in the chicken coops, because I'm covered with them here. But so, that's the thing, that you retire, but you don't really retire. You have a side hustle. You're doing what you like, tutoring, helping people with their, learning math or science, or, helping people write their essays for their English classes, whatever you're good at. And, finding something, your Etsy store, if you like making crafts or whatever, you like writing, you blog, you podcast. That's the new thing today. Everybody's podcasting. And, you just find something to spend your time on that you really enjoy, because it's about, freedom and flexibility and being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And, spending time with the puppy dogs. Hey guys, what you doing? And my helpers. So just be thinking about all of that and what you can do to retire now. And the key things are: reduce your spending, live really frugally. The most important thing you can do is actually go put that mark on the calendar that, this is the day that you're going to do it, and commit to that. Because otherwise you just end up with that one more year syndrome, which I talked about a little while ago in an earlier video. So commit to going, reduce, live super frugally, because you've got a goal in mind, so you can do that, because it's only for a short term. You got to get out of debt. You can't have a car payment and house rent payment and credit cards and all of that kind of stuff. You just can't do that and then think, when you retire, you've got to have no expenses. And and I've chatted about that too before, but is cell phone, electric, and water, and you know, a couple insurances that you got to have for your car and things, and you know, that's our budget. So, and we eat plain Jane and all of that. So, and then get rid of stuff and make your move. And whether you're going to live in a small house, you know, we're on our homestead now, and we own it free and clear, other than paying the property taxes on it every year, which keeps going up. And you know, you're being on a sailboat like we were. You know, we've chatted about cruising the country in an RV, but we're a little concerned about the expenses with that now. So that's, you know, not something that we're interested in at this moment in time, but we might be. But maybe you are. You know, it's a great thing to do, be up north in the summertime or down south in the wintertime. The snowbird thing. You know, you can visit your family and then leave when you get tired of them. So be thinking about all those things, and please really get serious about retiring now, because it's about your freedom, right?